All right, welcome everyone to the 11th tournament for Gods of Gravity. We're here in round 2. It's a 2v2 tournament this time. This is the final match before the semifinals start. And I think we have all our players here. Also, I apologize if there's a dog barking in the background of mine. This week we have Steve, as always, on the camera work and commentating. And we also have Nathan, who is making a sort of rare appearance.
What's up?
Welcome.
I'm here for a good time, but not a long time. Or I'll try to be here for as many times as I can be.
All right.
All right. Nathan, can you verify the stream is running and operational? And Steve, you can open up, let our players select the gods.
Let's do it. Let's give everybody a little bird's eye view of this map. This is an insane map that Nathan came up with.
Yeah,
this map is also.
Yeah, Nathan, go and talk about it.
Yeah, so this map is loosely based off of one of our old 2v2 maps. I believe it used to be called something like Overhead. It was basically a combination of our very large maps with planets that are far apart, with this large sniper orbit that goes kind of oddly in between some asteroids and just kind of over in this like kind of diagonalish orbit. But with the recent map update in the extrasolar update, we've added some new maps, including this map called Chaos, which features planets that aren't even on any orbits at all, and they're just sort of randomly scattered. But we tried to bring in some elements of that onto this map, so you'll see planets that are just drifting out in the distance, and we'll see if those end up being helpful or a hindrance, as they can be used both offensively and as extra resources.
Nice. All right, let's kick it off and see how they play.
Let's see it.
Yeah, let's do it. And this is a 2v1 scenario. So let's see if BlackLemur on red team is able to take on both members of the blue team, who are both Speedy Ape, it looks like. We'll have to keep track of them by their differences in cosmetics here.
And they both chose the God of War. Oh no, God of War, God of Death. Okay, yeah, we'll have to pick one or the other there.
Yeah, and if you notice, these are the planets Nathan was talking about, where they're randomly sort of scattered out in the expansive space here.
Some huge verticality, which is quite interesting, as you can maybe do some sneak attacks, especially in a 2v2. Something of note also of the players we have today, one of the Speedy Apes on the other team is one of our returning champions, DragonvsCATS, along with Darth, Eggus, and BlackLemur, I believe, also placed very highly in the last tournament. So these are some top level players, if such a thing exists, which it does, facing off in the round 2. So we'll see who is able to progress.
Yeah, and I wonder how, I'm looking at the minimap trying to see if blue team, since they have 2 players, how much faster are they able to expand their territory here? And I'm looking at the shipment numbers, and it looks like not much faster, because it looks like red team's actually in the lead right now.
But you'll see, as God of Conquest, they have some power in pretty distant regions over in even on red team's side, which on this map, where the planets are very far apart, having power in many places will be very valuable, I suspect.
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about what Conquest's passive ability is there?
Yeah, so Conquest's passive ability is basically centered around power, and specifically, instead of just having power from planets, you also get power from moons, which makes moons a much more valuable resource for you to have. In this case, because there are enough moons scattered around, and on most maps, having power on moons means that you could potentially have control over the map even in distant regions. However, moons are much weaker than planets, and so it may be difficult to hold that power as you're attacking.
Yeah, great explanation. And we're seeing, if you look at, since we're looking from the blue perspective here, we see how blue has power in a lot of places just due to those moons.
I'm excited to see a God of Defense here. We haven't seen a God of Defense for a while. Let's see what BlackLemur can do.
Yeah, you can see that even despite not having that conquest power, the red team here, BlackLemur, still has a fair bit of map control, which is just due to the sheer number of planets and moons that there are available. So production will be probably quite high in this map.
And BlackLemur's fast too. They have good movement speed and get around to all the planets very quickly. So typically, I'd say maybe a 2v1 might be at a disadvantage due to good strategic skill, but BlackLemur has a chance here.
And it looks like some exciting wormhole conquesting coming out here. Not sure exactly where the destination is, but it looks like these players are just trying to capture as many planets as they can and keep their forces together.
Yeah, and with the planets and moons scattered in such different locations, it's really going to take a lot of like high-level awareness. Oh, and we're seeing all the abilities being used here. God of Defense used their planetary shield, which we see inactive there. At the same time, though, the EMP was used, but it was a bit too late, it seems. Or rather, maybe it wasn't effective since the shield wasn't up. Normally, the Conquest EMP would be a great counter to this planetary shield, but...
And
really
notice the other blue player holding the snipers above. That's a really deadly thing to do in 2v2s because the snipers are so powerful, especially when you have just a partner able to perfectly position them to support your attack.
I love
and it looks like
too.
There's a lot of snipers there.
Yeah, because Jack and I have talked about this many times, but nobody's actually managed to do it outside of Danny and Panda. So it's nice to see people picking up on this finally and starting to really play in a smart way and take advantage of the 2v2, 2v1.
Yeah, and this is a really exciting. I'm loving this map so far. We're seeing a lot of great fights here, and I really noticed how. In that previous fight over this planet, I believe, how BlackLemur was able to use that defense ability to actually shield their ships from all that sniper fire, even though they got EMP'd. And it looks like BlackLemur is actually doing something smart and trying to hunt down those snipers as they're being moved around, because the snipers aren't great in close quarters fights. So if you're able to rush them down, of course, that's a lot harder when there's somebody holding and micromanaging them the whole time.
Yeah, you can see the snipers are really crucial. Both players, or both teams are fighting over this sniper planet in particular right now. But it does look like red is on the defensive here. Ooh, our first asteroids are now
Asteroids
in play.
are popping out. Got a lot of good wormholing by all players now.
I'm loving the verticality on this map too. We're seeing battles especially with the snipers just going full, fully from the bottom to all the top, and just it's fun to watch. But it looks like
really exciting.
red team is out of ships here as their fleet was just consistently destroyed over the last few minutes. It's hard, especially against two players in the end game. Once, in the early game, you don't have that many ships, so it's reasonable that you can do everything well with one person. But in the end of the game, it becomes so much more helpful to have a teammate here. BlackLemur has the ability, but not much they're going to be able to do against this huge blue fleet here.
Yeah, and I think this comes down to really some smart play by the two Speedy apes, being able to manage their ships and separating that sniper fire.
Yeah, but even with the neutral planetary shield there, the difference in numbers is too much, and BlackLemur is defeated. But that was a great game, and a decent length one too. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm loving this map too. You're right. This is really exciting because you get to see all that verticality. Planets are out there and just all around the map. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, welcome back. This is the first semifinals match where we've got ExcelBeam and Xburruss on the blue team facing off against Frosty Panda on the red team. And I think we've given enough time for the players to get ready, though. Maybe they wanted to reset here. But this should be going underway shortly.
Not sure what they're doing there.
Yeah, and this is going to be another 2v1. It looks like Mr. Oculus has switched off. We're just waiting for Frosty Panda to join red, and we'll give the players a couple seconds to choose their gods.
One looks like both got a production. Yep, I guess we're ready. All right.
All right, Steve, why don't you hop into game here?
All right, here we go. Another 2v1. Oh, Mistral.
Steve, if you refresh the UI, that should go away. Unless they are.
Might have actually.
Well, let's watch this unfold. So it looks like blue is going in and expanding, as is red. I'm curious to see. I haven't played this map personally, so I'm curious what a good opener is on this map. And it looks like the players have been going for this heavy laser planet. And Nathan, do you want to talk a little bit about heavy lasers? We don't often see them, or at least we don't often see the heavy laser planets.
Yeah, so I thought when we were designing this map, we really wanted to just try and do some new things. And so in this map, the heavy laser planet, first of all, is way above the map, which makes it an interesting vantage point for attacking the home base. But heavy lasers themselves, their specialty is in like quick and fast damage. They will still be blocked by shields. However, they will do explosive damage similar to missiles. So they can take out multiple ships in a single hit, which makes them very powerful. Their range is a little shorter than your average ship, which means that you'll have to manage them carefully behind your defenses if you want to be able to actually shred through their fleet.
Yeah, I think
still a very useful asset.
I think one of my favorite things about this map too is we don't have any shields, any planetary shields outside of the sun. So it's nice to see, because I know in some of the other maps we've done, we've had planetary shields and people are a little hesitant to lose their forces and they just kind of ignored them. So now we're getting to see a lot of planet taking, we're getting to see a lot of people jumping around the map and really exploring and taking all the planets.
And it looks like Frosty Panda there on red is prioritizing that point defense planet, wanting to increase their defenses there a little bit before taking this production planet down below. And Nathan, what is the importance of taking planets in this game?
Yeah, well, right now, we have God of Production on both sides. So really, the key to planets, in addition to, of course, giving you different types of ships, since many planets will produce certain types of ships, is going to be that's the only way you can progress across the map. In this case, if you want to be able to reach the enemy home base, you don't have enough power to reach across. Your ships will run out of power if they are too far away from your planets. But if you take planets as you go along, you'll increase the range of power that you have, which means that you can actually push into the enemy territory, which of course allows you to win.
Yeah. No, that's a great explanation. I'm curious here, Steve, how would you play when you're on the team without a teammate? Like it's harder to manage snipers, or what can you do to kind of compensate for not having another teammate?
I think I would do a similar thing, but what I do is I position my snipers in an excellent spot and then kind of manage the rest of my team. And then that way, if my snipers could counter the second player's snipers, even if I don't have a second player, my snipers will still function and still work properly. So I think you really need to monitor your snipers and position them in a great space that will counter whatever that second player is doing. Because if the second player is kind of knocked out of the strategy, then you put yourself on an even playing field.
Yeah, and it looks like Frosty Panda's opting to just for simplicity and keeping their snipers within their main army here for the most part. Though they do have the sniper planet supporting them. Do you think, how much better is it to have a second, to keep your snipers separate than it is to mix them in?
See, I like to mix. I would like to keep them separate because of this right here. Because of these big battles. If you have a big battle and you're chasing around, they're just going to be in the mix, and their range is best at a distance. So I would mix them up on a good planet and separate them out.
Yeah, and it looks like Red's suffering some consistent losses in the last couple battles here, and is down to the last amount of ships that they have. We'll see. They're pulling back from that sniper planet, just trying to regroup as blue pushes forward and starts capturing all these red planets and moons.
Yeah, the 1v2 is tough if the two players are playing really well together.
Yeah, and of course, all these players at this level in the semifinals are great players, and so it's it's no surprise that a team of 2 great players has an advantage, especially going into late games, I was saying.
Something else you'll find is that many of these top players, especially in these 2v2s, will spend time practicing together to kind of get to know how the other player works, because if you're both, you know, playing at a high level, you want to not only be using your skills well, but also understanding what your teammate's doing so you can maximize your efficiency. And so if you're interested in finding teammates for these sorts of tournaments, you can join the Discord, and you can see players looking for teammates trying to practice together in advanced lobbies. It can be a great way to, you know, meet new people and, of course, become better at the game.
Yeah, excellent point.
And it's looking a little rough for Frosty Panda here, as blue team is getting those asteroids.
That's gonna
not
be trouble.
quite countered there. And it looks like blue is making the play for the home base right here. Not sure if they quite have power there yet, but it looks like once their drones arrive to this planet right there, it should be good game here.
And that is it.
Yep.
Red team has been.
And there we go. Xburruss and ExcelBeam have won the first semifinals match against Frosty Panda, and will be moving on to the finals.
I just want to say I'm really impressed at how well the 2v2 or the 2-player teams are doing now. When we first started it was a little rough, but you've seen them grow and become much better over the last few tournaments. So this is really great to see.
Also,
Yeah,
before we move on to the finals, we also do have one more semifinals round, just to be sure.
Yeah, and then we've actually got the bronze match before the finals, so we've got 3 more games here in this tournament. But what I also wanted to say is I'm really excited about this tournament because I think we had, unlike the other tournaments, a lot of people have been practicing on this map and for this tournament specifically, and it's been really great to see everyone asking to practice and practicing in game for this, and it's we're definitely seeing it. These teams are playing really well together, and definitely a lot of coordination and practice here, and that's great to see. All right, we'll be right back with the second semifinals match. All right, welcome back to the pregame lobby for the second semifinals match. We're waiting for, or in this match we have DragonvsCATS, the winner of our last solo tournament, and Darth Eggus against Deadly God and Mufflin. I'm not sure. It looks like I think the 2 Speedy apes are DragonvsCATS and Darth Eggus. So let's wait for them to be on the correct teams here.
And they're 2 European players too. So they're up
so
late.
they're up very late.
Up late, but they've been competing regularly, which is great to see. So excited to spread Gods of Gravity around the world.
Yeah, and for those of you who are playing Gods of Gravity outside of the America region, we apologize for the lack of, everyone basically we have plays on North American servers, but eventually we hope to expand that out to other regions, so you get better ping and different things. And we also want to expand ranked queue times to better accommodate other regions as the game grows. All right, it looks like this is our first God of Volatility on blue team here. Nathan, do you want to talk a little bit about what this god specializes in?
Yeah, so Volatility specializes mainly in kind of explosive damage. So all of their hits have a chance to cause an explosion, which can damage other ships, which is very useful in those cluster battles that we see often at the end of games. So more often than not, a God of Volatility will be able to come out on top in those battles. In addition to that, also as part of kind of the explosive playstyle, God of Volatility has a chance to spawn some passive nukes, and nuke ships are, of course, these very powerful ships that you can see even on this neutral planet right here, which can allow you to do even more massive damage if you're able to use them wisely. Yet another tool that you can have in your arsenal. But right here, we're seeing that the red team has already got the sniper planet on lock. In our first 2v2, we're going to have lots of different ship types at play, and so it'll really be interesting to see kind of what happens.
Yeah,
both-
Nathan,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
why do you think? Obviously, snipers are a powerful ship, but why do you think players prioritize them in the early game so much?
Well, as you can see here on blue team, with this amusing spinning strategy, snipers are very useful in that they can do damage without taking damage themselves, especially if you hold them away from the battle. It works best when you have two different fleets, as you can see with both of these teams having a close fleet to draw in the fire from the neutral turrets, and then a distant sniper fleet to cause massive damage. That strategy in particular is very effective against these, planets where there's not really anything smart defending them. It's just a matter of getting through the turrets. And so having those snipers will really allow you to safely destroy planets. Of course, with the only loss being your small fleet up close. And with this many planets and moons, it's much easier to recover your fleet, but you still need to be careful against an actual player fleet, since they'll be able to counter your snipers potentially much more effectively.
And it looks like
here's our
Blue's
first.
attempting to counter this, but it looks like Red's already taken that. And Red, I don't know what they did, but they have a lot of ships here. About twice the amount that Blue has.
Yeah, hard to say if the strategy that blue team is employing is really keeping their ships alive as effectively as I think they'd want.
Yeah. And Red's done a great job of coordinating attacks together. Like, you can see their positioning. They're doing a great job.
It looks like Red's trying to cut off Blue's sniper production here. That's what we're seeing, that snipers are really the key ship in this match, just because they're so accessible early on. And so cutting off the enemy's sniper production will really allow you to snowball here and gain an advantage.
Wow, we're seeing, as we mentioned before, the God of Conquest's power is really coming into play here. Look how much control over the map red team has on the minimap. They have a lot of moons, even though... Oh, EMP? Not
Blue is
sure.
already on the defensive, and now here Red comes. I think Blue team has converted some ships to nukes there, as I see the ability is recharging. So we'll see what they're able to do with those. It looks like Mufflin's got a bunch of nukes in his hand, trying to maybe counter the sniper fleet there. Cool.
A good harassment of the snipers, but I think it's not going to be enough. We'll see.
And it looks like Red team's just been really dominant in this match, showing a lot of control and coordination here. And Red team seems to just be going in straight for the home planet here. And looking at the minimap, there's not much Blue can do. Even if you play perfectly, it would be hard to block that attack with such a little fleet. And it looks like Speedy Ape and Speedy Ape, aka DragonvsCATS and Darth Eggus, I believe,
Yep.
have defeated the blue team Mufflin and Deadly God in the semifinals, and will be moving on to the finals. But before we're going to show the finals, we have to do the bronze match for third place in the tournament.
Red team won.
Great
And
match.
so, yeah, great to see all that power there. And we'll be right back with the bronze match, and then after that we will run the finals. All right, welcome back everyone. We're in the pregame lobby for the bronze match. We've got Mufflin and Deadly God going off against Frosty Panda, and it looks like we have all our players here, so let's allow them to get on their teams and pick their gods. We'll see what they choose. We've seen that Conquest has been strong on this map, and just due to all the moons scattered around, you can gain power so quickly and expand a lot with Conquest. Nathan, do you think, or what are some other good picks of God for this map?
Good question. I personally would suspect that in a map with this many planets, it might be useful to have something like stealth, but we haven't seen that in play today. I personally think that, having your fleet so scattered because the map is so big, it would be a lot more interesting to play around with the kind of the hiding in plain sight gimmicks of that, or not gimmicks, aspects of the God of Stealth. But of course, God of Stealth doesn't have quite the raw initial benefits as some of our other gods, so I can see why that might be a less easy pick. And teleportation, of course, I personally think is quite nice, but in a 2v2 setting, it's much harder to take advantage of, even though it does allow you to span the map very easily.
And we see
Not as
red.
useful at high level play.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt you there, Nathan, but it looks like we're seeing how highly players prioritize that sniper planet, and I think the key in any map really, and this one is knowing what key planets to go for early, and being able to minimize your early game loss. You want to be always behind shields, always micromanaging, as we see Frosty Panda doing here, just because it sucks to enter the mid game behind in ships, because then you're not able to capitalize nearly as much.
Yeah, we saw Frosty Panda feed that sniper ship planet, which was weird. I'm not sure why they went for that so early without a good amount of ships, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, in fairness, of course, having production as early as possible means that you can produce a lot of ships during this phase when the other team can't reach you. Although, yeah, with the way Blue's going around, they've got quite an ambitious push right there. However, even still, that didn't quite pan out for Red Team there. This time we have no conquests, so that'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, and it looks like it's funny to see the random moons that are sort of scattered about, but those are of course essential for increasing your production. And it looks like Red Team's going for that point defense planet. I think I just looked at the minimap and saw both players, the little dim bars extend, which represents the maximum fleet capacity, and so both our players are tied right now. Also looks like Deadly God might be dead. As their headset is down right now, or they're just hanging from their toes like a bat. But Mufflin is still
possibilities.
Yeah, Mufflin is still expanding, and hopefully Deadly God will be back soon. But it looks like there's only one torpedo planet on this map, right, Nathan?
I believe so. It is on this innermost ring alongside the nuke ships. In general, it seems that the torpedo planet has been much more favorable, since of course torpedoes have the benefit of having a long-range, safe, kind of explosive attack, whereas nukes take a bit more finesse to use. But both can be quite valuable if you can get production on them.
Yeah, and Nathan, do you want to explain a little bit of what we saw Mufflin do, whether he was swinging his hand through that planet to
so that's a bit of an unconventional strategy that I haven't seen any other players use. But my best guess for what's going on here is by kind of moving in and out of the ship's range, you can make it so that the snipers will detect an enemy. So the way the snipers work, for those aspiring strategists out there, is the snipers will be able to shoot other ships that are within range of your ships. So they can't just shoot anywhere across the map. You need to have forces nearby for them to target. And so what Mufflin was employing there was basically, oh, Deadly God's back. That's great. Good to see. But by swinging the ships in and out of range, the snipers were able to take shots off, while the close-ranged fleet was generally comparatively safe, since it was most often out of range, since swinging your arms moves the ships away. Here we're seeing some kind of cross-planet sniper battles there. That was very interesting.
Oh, yep, and God of Production ability went off, giving Red a little more ships there. It looks like they're going to try to hold this planet. They've got a lot of snipers returning fire here. And snipers are also very good against, or they make it hard for the enemy to come in, fire some missiles, and run out, because the snipers will shoot them as they're running away.
We saw Armageddon up top with the blue team over there. They've turned some nuke ships, and we'll see what they do with those.
You can hold the nukes. Nukes will detonate instantly if hit. So one way, if you really want those nukes to hit, you can go and hold them yourself in the middle of the enemy.
And it looks like that did some pretty substantial damage to the red fleet. In spite of some good wormholing, their ship numbers are way down now.
Yeah, I didn't see who did the nuking, but that was excellent.
Yeah, and it looks like both low ship numbers, but I think Blue's definitely ahead here. But we'll see if Red is able to recoup here. What's the key to to sort of coming back from lower ship numbers.
I think it's strategic wormholing, getting around, making sure you have enough planets to keep your production up. You can't really fall back into a defensive posture in this case. You've got to make the rounds, make sure that your planets aren't getting stolen, and fend off Blue's attack as best you can, and try to make sure they don't get those asteroids. But I don't. It's not looking good.
Yeah, just try not to asteroids spawn in pairs. So, you know, try to get at least one.
Yeah. Oh. This actually may work. If Red can get this one.
With the massive blue army here, and that was the rest of Red's forces there.
That's not good. I think Frosty's feeling a little down on
yeah,
that
losing
one.
both asteroids is definitely a major loss.
Yeah, and it looks like Blue here is going to, well, they probably realize they're at a significant advantage here and are going to make a play for the Red home base here. And here Blue comes. Red's just trying to hold on to that last planet, which I think Blue needs to reach them. Blue could opt to go for the sun, but they're not Panda, so they decide not to do that. And just, you know, staring down an army of like 70 ships there, it's going to be hard to.
Yeah, there's also
here.
a planet down there, it looks like, which I kind of forgot about. So that might also give them enough power range.
That should give them, yeah.
Oh, another asteroid. Wow, they're really taking their time to build up just an absolutely unstoppable force here. That might be enough to let Red come in and take some much-needed victories, maybe over some moons to build up some backup ships, since... Oh, they did take the sun.
Maybe they heard
All
us.
right.
Yeah.
And, but not even staying on the sun to
get the buff, yeah. All right.
Oh, they left some ships on the sun, so they'll still get it.
Yeah, I don't know if Blue's just being safe here or they're toying with their enemy, but I think after that buff, Blue team should be going in.
Yeah, we did see the reinforcements there, but not nearly enough. Those buff ships. Yeah. Game over, man.
Yep. And Blue cleaned up those remaining enemy ships, and Blue team, Mufflin and Deadly God, have secured third place in this tournament.
With a nice win, too.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting. We've got our finals match up next, where we've got ExcelBeam and Xburruss facing off against DragonvsCATS and Darth Eggus. And this will be our, I don't know if this is our first true 2v2, but it should be an exciting match. All right. Welcome back, guys. We're in the pregame lobby for the finals of the 11th tournament. We're just waiting on our competitors to get in here. I think the room got too packed, so we're waiting a little bit. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, I wanted to just talk a little bit about some fun things that are coming to Gods of Gravity within the next couple weeks. And the main thing that we've already been announcing is the Founders Pack, which is going to be our first in-app purchase, and it's a way to show your support for the game and support the development, while also gaining some really fun and exclusive items. We've done 1 out of the 3 weekly reveals of the contents in it, and what's been revealed so far has been you get a shimmering name, so whatever, not the title, but your actual name, and the badge next to it will have a shimmering effect, as well as any crown you wear will also have a shimmering effect. So this is our first and the only way to get this animated crown and name thing at the moment, and there will be 2 more reveals showing off some exciting things you get within the pack. And this, you might ask, when does it come out? It will release on September 1st, which is in approximately 13 days, so almost 2 weeks. And there are 2 tiers We haven't yet revealed the differences between the gold and silver tiers, but you can find all this information by following our Twitter or looking on our Discord. All right. Well, welcome to the finals. We've got Xburruss and ExcelBeam playing as God of Stealth. I think they listened to Nathan and decided to give God of Stealth a try on this map. And on red team, we have Speedy Ape and Speedy Ape, aka DragonvsCATS and Darth Eggus. But they're just trolling with their names a little bit. So it looks like blue team both taking a little bit of their stealth ships, and they're going out, and while Xburruss is focusing on this sniper planet, ExcelBeam is going around and conquesting all these moons. So that's a great division of labor there. I wonder what red team is doing, if they have a similar strategy of going right for that sniper planet, or how they're dividing this initial conquest between them.
Yeah, it looks like they're mostly going for moons right now. I don't think they have any more planets, so that's pretty interesting. We'll see what happens there. But this slower start for them is not great, even in spite of their conquest abilities. But they are going for the sniper planet here, which makes perfect sense. We'll see if they can maximize its usage as blue team continues to progress. They've got a lot of territory, as you can see. We don't know where their forces are, but they've got a lot of moons, it looks like, scattered around the map.
It looks like they've done an excellent job at spreading out, because I'm looking at the minimap and I just see blue everywhere. Looks like they're wasting no time to start getting all these moons and planets. And we can just see how many planets they have by that bar on the side of the minimap, showing their large fleet capacity here. It looks like they're going for that stealth planet on the side, which is something you don't see in every map. Nathan, what is a stealth planet?
Yeah, a stealth planet is basically a planet which temporarily gives your ships the ability that the God of Stealth has, the invisibility ability. And this hides your ships, as one might expect. But in addition to that, invisible ships will also be immune to explosions while they're invisible, which makes it very useful when dealing with perhaps torpedoes or even the explosive effects of a sniper blast or a heavy laser. So having the stealth planet as a way to route your ships, while maybe not the most useful for the God of Stealth since they already have this ability, it can be a good way to reset your forces perhaps. And for any god playing, having the invisibility effect is quite powerful, and so having that planet could be quite nice. Or it's just simply another way to have more territory and power range, which is of course very nice, as that planet is on the outside of the map. It might be a safe place which red would have trouble reaching, since they have a lot of other things to deal with right now, it looks like.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that red, as God of Conquest, they have their ability ready. When do you think they'll use that EMP?
You'd think it'd be a pretty good time to use it there, since you don't want to lose that sniper planet, but they seem to have held back right there. Another nice thing about the EMP against the God of Stealth particularly is that when ships lose power, they will also lose the ability to be invisible. So you could potentially reveal more of the enemy's ships by using your EMP. But, you know, of course, you only have basically one per like 4-minute period or so. So you're really going to need to use it at the right moment if you're thinking of doing so.
And it looks like blues, I thought they were about, it looks like they're going to go in here. And if they do and are able to successfully attack the red home base so early, this will be quite a quick match, with blue having just such a strong showing in the opening.
I worry about that conquest ability though. The EMP can shut it down, even though stealth is about to have their power as well, so they could get a nice buff here. Oh, all right.
Oh, completely invisible. We don't know where they are, but we have a pretty good idea that they'd be going straight for the home base. Ah, yes, they saved the EMP for a defensive thing, but it looks like they maybe mistimed it, because blue was able to move their forces out of the way in time. As you can see, their shields are still active. So a lot of cat and mouse there, but it looks like it wasn't enough. And so a God of Stealth out of nowhere managed to win the tournament, it looks like.
Yeah,
I don't think there's much else that red team can do.
These are all really great players, and one member of red team, DragonvsCATS, was the winner of the last solo tournament, so definitely a big accomplishment for Xburruss and ExcelBeam. This is the first time I've seen ExcelBeam this high up in a tournament. I know Xburruss has won a solo tournament before, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
And so it's exciting to see players that have been coming into the community and doing well, getting better and performing well in the tournaments. And we've been noticing a lot of growth in the game recently, which has been great to see. And so we're excited to continue to see new players coming into the game and into the tournaments.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
let's let blue team pose here. They got their matching crowns coming out here, and really showing us how to be a god of gravity.
Yeah, really impressed by all 4 players. That was a fantastic job. They did really well, and they are some of the best at the game. So it's great to see them now gelling as teams and not just solo players. So this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that was a great tournament. And Steve, when's the next Founders Pack reveal coming out?
Oh yeah, so the next Founders Pack reveal will be on Saturday. So look for that. We also have a YouTube channel set up in our Discord, so you won't miss anything if you're in our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, join. But just to make a note, the Founders Pack, all the proceeds go to help marketing and growing the game. So if you want to see more players, you want to see people getting better, you know, any little bit helps us grow. So take a look and let us know if it's something you'd like to see.
Yeah, I can't wait for the reveal. I'll see you guys in Discord and in game.
Yep, and I'll get this tournament VOD up tomorrow.